we are down to your final two comics. They drove all the way here from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The first one is a guy we saw 4 months ago, and I'm pretty sure he's my spirit animal. He just made me laugh so hard, and we are so thrilled to have him here for you guys tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Tulsa, Ryan Green. Ryan Green, everybody.
I'm just naturally uncool. I don't know what to do when music's playing. I just stand and look nervously around. I saw Kyle bobbing his head. I'm like, oh, I'd try that. Oh, this looks weird. Don't do it. These people all know you're a fake. Also, Doug just calls me a spirit animal because we're both nerds and I'm like a little bit fatter. So it's really good PR for him. All right, comedy. Let's get started. I like to get started by kind of letting you guys get to know me, just so I can start getting weird about halfway through. So let's start with some common facts about me. I'm like a giant pussy. Just 100%, there's no way around it, so I like to start off. I'll tell you a little bit about how I know that. The other day I cried because I remembered Charlotte's Web. I didn't catch the end of the movie or like find a childhood copy of the book. I just remembered it. I cried for 15 minutes. It could happen again right now. It was some pig. This guy's tearing up. It's a sad story, you don't have to be ashamed of it. No, I've been a huge pussy since I was a kid. When I was in second grade, we all had to go into the counselor's class to watch like a short film made in the 80s about not doing drugs, which was ironically produced by a crew of entirely people doing drugs. Well, we all sat cross-legged and learned lessons. And at one point, these kids in this reenactment scene were getting ready to go down a dark path and try drugs. And out loud, I said, "Oh no!" Then inside, I said, "Oh no." I looked down at my second grade penis and said, "You can wait till college, buddy." Good news. We can go ahead and get real into Star Wars. And we did. If anybody wants to talk about Kylo Ren after the show, I'll be here. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's the response it deserves. Tulsa, Oklahoma has no history to it. Well, it does, but like any history Tulsa has past 70 years ago is so racist we don't talk about it anymore. It's like taking a tour and like, this building was built in 1920. What did they do in that building? They didn't do shit in that building. Don't worry about what happened in that building. You like the Sooners? I don't know what we do. I don't know sports. I heard someone talk about the Sooners today, and I'm like, yeah, Oklahoma. I'll do that. I like homeless people. I don't like that they're homeless. Let me clarify first. Tulsa has like some of my favorite homeless people because they're not shy and they're not simple. Like they don't just ask you for money. Like the other day, a homeless guy came up to me and asked me for money, but he didn't just ask, he demanded. And he did it in an interesting way. He yelled at me. It's a bold tactic. He said, "Hey, fat Clark Kent, give me $5. I was a little taken aback by that. I took my glasses off to get a better look at him, because these are for show. And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "I'm sorry. Fat Superman." Give me $5. I gave him $5. And I need a nemesis out there that knows my fat secret identity. It's gonna make it a lot harder to say Fat Metropolis. For which I mean Dallas, Texas. I went on tour a few months ago, and one thing I learned is that every city in America hates Dallas, Texas. Up to and including Dallas, Texas. It's a self-hating city. One of my favorite towns I got to visit when I was on tour was Fort Collins, Colorado. If you're not familiar with that town, let me break it down for you. It's the most hipster town in the United States of America. It's like a whole town. Yeah, give it up for the hipster town. It's like a whole town turned 22 and was like, we're good here. Everybody freeze. I got to town and I was staying with a friend of mine who lives there now. And I got there at midnight and she said, we're going to a party. And I said, damn it. What kind of party? She said, it's a house party. And that was the first lie she told me. Because it was a driveway party. That a bonfire, which was just a circle of fire someone had made in the driveway, like dancing around it like fucking Lord of the Flies. I said, what do we do here? They said, I don't know, we just watch the fire. Occasionally someone will ride their bike through it. I wasn't used to people riding bicycles for fun. I saw a guy riding a bike and I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, I just enjoy it, it's good for me. What? In Oklahoma, if you're riding a bike, you've got too many DUIs. That bike is a stopgap measure for you. Not out there. At one point in this party, a girl came up to me and my friend holding another girl. I don't mean like holding hands. I'm from Oklahoma, but that would freak me out. I've seen movies. I mean like firemen carrying this girl over her shoulder like it was normal. And she said, hey, how are you doing? She didn't have a girl. I said, fine, trying to make eye contact with both of them at the same time. And then she turned to my friend, who is also a girl, and said, hey, hold this girl. She handed her the girl. My friend took the girl. Then the original girl went and got a beer, made a sandwich, mingled with people, came back and said, thanks for holding the girl. Then they went off into the night. Yeah, I had questions. But I did not ask them. So I was afraid I'd stumbled into a weird Fort Collins Wicker Man situation. This is how they make sure the crops grow in right. Every month we elect a girl who must not touch the ground. Well, you held the girl in a march? Oh, that means luck in love this year. Don't let that girl see your shadow. I don't know the rules of Fort Collins Wicker Man. I just know I love it. Before I went on tour, my girlfriend asked if I was gonna cheat on her, which is another bold question for a girlfriend to ask, because I feel like that's a question you'd probably lie to if you were planning a cheat tour. But I wasn't. I said no. And I gave my reasons. I said, babe, I'm going to be in a different town every night. What makes you think I could get laid on a first impression? Do you remember how long it took you to fuck me? That was a year of work. I told you I loved you on our second date. I would have on our first, but you got sick. It's my only move as a guy. That's like, what do you do when you like a girl? You pledge your life to her forever? I don't know. Nobody ever taught me steps 1 through 22, just step 23. That's an arbitrary scale, there's different steps. You know, it's different for everybody. Don't worry about it, you're all fine. I went to Las Vegas a little while ago. If you go to Las Vegas with money, Your story is exactly the same as everyone else's story. I did some gambling. I went to some nice restaurants. It was fun. Boring. Go to Vegas like I did, with zero money. See what shit you get into. So I got into some weird shit. There's a booth that sells you super discounted tickets for shows that are taking place within 10 minutes. Because they just have these tickets. Please go to their show. And we got tickets for the Vegas version of Medieval Times. You guys aware of what Medieval Times is?
Yeah.
Thank you, people willing to admit it. People sitting alone. I love it. If you're not familiar with it, basically these nights are sort of color-coded, and you get sat in a section according to that color, and then you cheer for that night. So like the people will sit and they'll be like, who's here for the Black Knight? And people will be like, yeah, I fucking love the Black Knight. And people will be like, who's here for the Green Knight? And people are like, I'd sell my children for the Green Knight. Now, I was in the Blue Knight section, and I don't know if the guy who was making the tickets was just pissed off that day, or if he was quitting, or if he was just hiding balls. But every section was full, except for our section, which was just me and my friend. So, screaming for this night, screaming for this night. Who's here for the Blue Knight? Me and this guy. Like that Blue Knight. Hope he does well. Good fella. At one point, the knights have to give a rose to the fairest maiden in their section. He had me and an even fatter dude. He just dropped it. His horse stepped on it. If you think the guys working at Medieval Times are disappointed in their career path, imagine how their horses feel. They're in Vegas. People are betting on racehorses all day. They're just there under horse chainmail, horse larping. I tell this whole story to say horse larping. Is it worth it? It's worth it. It's 100% worth it. A third guy did come in to sit in our section about halfway through the show, and I mean, it would have been better without him, I'll be honest. He was, and this is an estimation, I'm not a statistician, he was 107 years old. He had a Vietnam vet hat on, and he was screaming for our knight to shoot other knights. And I said, sir, you're showing a complete lack of understanding for the show you're at. Also, your hatred of the Yellow Knight is racist. Don't care if you were in Vietnam. I questioned if I should tell that joke, and I did it anyway. It's okay, I won him over with horse larping. They loved it. I don't know if that's a fact. While I was in Vegas, I had a misunderstanding with a stripper. It's happened to you, it's happened to me. As I mentioned, I had no money, but a friend of mine was there who had lots of money, and she paid for me and a bunch of other people to go into a strip club that we couldn't afford to be in. And we stood out pretty obviously. Imagine just 100 people in suits, and then me and two other nerdy guys in like pants that don't fit, like always, just stained t-shirts. And I think what happened was the strippers got it into their head that we were like eccentric Silicon Valley millionaires. So they were all over us. My refusal only seemed to make them more certain I had tons of money. Now, I had $27. And I said, I'm gonna spend this wisely. I'm gonna wait till the end of the night. And maybe $27 won't seem like a tiny sum. I waited till the end of the night, and the stripper who'd been talking to me all night in her very sexy Russian accent came up to me and said, you wanna dance? That's my Russian accent. I'm terrible at accents. It was very Russian. She said, you wanna dance? I said, yes, I do. keep in mind, my pockets at this point contained $27 and an infinite amount of hope. So she guides me toward a back room, and she says, $800. Again, I'm not super great at math. I know 800 is a lot more than 27. So I say, I don't have that, and she says 400. And I say, all right, first of all, you're terrible at negotiating. So there's a 50% slash. Also, I'm getting a little optimistic I can get you down to 27. But I'm also suspicious that you are not just taking me to get a lap dance. I think I've accidentally hired a Russian prostitute. So I'm protesting, and she is leading me to this room, and it's dark and smoky, and I can't see where I'm going. And I want to stress this, because you're going to think I'm a bad guy. I gently, but firmly, to move her hand off of mine, and just gently push her back a little bit. But what I was unaware of is that she had guided me to the top of a flight of stairs. Don't assume what happened. So I pushed her down the stairs. Have you ever pushed a stripper down the stairs? That is a terrifying and exhilarating moment in a young man's life. She yelled up, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I yelled down, "That wasn't a Russian accent." You're a liar, and we're both wrong now. She did not see it that way. It's the first and last time I was chased out of a strip club in my life. I got an important piece of knowledge that night, which is that of the cabs lined up in front of a strip club, the first cab in that line is reserved for people being chased out of the strip club. Because I said, "You need to go," and I couldn't even say fast, the guy was gone. Thankfully, my fare was $27. So that's as far as I was safely able to get. Before I go, I want to make a really quick blood oath. It's not weird. I told you I would let you get to know me first, and then we'd get, we'd do some stuff. I need you guys to promise me that if at any point in the future you become a vampire, bear with me, you will turn me into a vampire also. My main reason for wanting this is that I am a procrastinator. I can use some extra time to get some work done. However, there's a caveat to this blood oath, which is that you have to warn me 1 year in advance so that I can lose some weight. Because I don't want to be the one fat vampire in our awesome cabal of immortal vampires. I don't want to be the vampire that when somebody goes out to get a virgin to bring home, I'm like, "Could you get an extra one? Could you see if they have cheese virgins?" They do. They do, you don't want them. I don't want to be the vampire that turns into like a chubby bat. I can't fly very high, kids are throwing rocks at me. Oh, get the fat bat. Oh. Your rhymes hurt as bad as your rocks. I don't want to be the vampire that turns into an extra thick mist on a foggy night. It's not what I want for my afterlife. Guys, I'm Ryan Green.